Hello everyone and welcome to Vertica Unify 2022. I'm Darren and I manage the Vertica business for the Asia Pacific and Japan region. I've been with Vertica for more than 8 years and I'm really looking forward to today's event where you will get the opportunity to learn how Vertica can help you derive more value from your data with our approach to unified analytics. We have an impressive lineup of general session speakers for you. Scott Richards, our Vice President and General Manager of the Vertica business, will share some industry perspective, business updates, and explain how Vertica is more customer-driven than ever to ensure you will get even more value from your investment. Stephen Walkauskas, our Director of R&D, and David Sprogis, Director of Product Management, will team up and dive into Vertica version 12, which we announced just last month when we kick off Vertica Unify 22 in Boston. Then John Mao, Global Head of Business Development for Platinum sponsor, Vast Data, will share how unified analytics meets unified storage to address all of your disparate data needs. And finally, Rohit Amarnath, Vertica CTO, will give you a glimpse of our vision, ensuring that we keep Vertica on the cutting edge and take advantage of all the key innovations in the broader data, analytics, and machine learning ecosystem with seamless integration. But of course, I first want to thank all of our Vertica customers. Everything we do, every person within Vertica is focused on delivering on our mission of making our customers incredibly successful. You will hear some of those incredible success stories from our customers today. And thank you to our Platinum sponsors, Vast Data, the data platform company for the AI-powered world. Together, Vertica and Vast Data help enterprises consolidate their structure and unstructured data silos to democratize data for real-time data exploration, analytics, and insights. Make sure to hear John Mao's presentation during this general session to learn how this combined solution can deliver the performance, the scale, the data protection, and resiliency needed for today's modern and converged data lake and data warehouse applications. So you may have noticed that last year, we renamed our annual user conference from Vertica Big Data Conference to Vertica Unify. Why do we do that? And what's behind the name? Other than big data becoming a dated term, though it's undeniable that data volumes continue to grow among Vertica's customer base as well as in data lakes, there is a movement underway across nearly every industry, and that is to bring the analytics to the data and unify the analytics. Unify means to mix into a unit or coherent whole, to unite. Well, we look forward to a time where we could all unite, get together either in person or virtually, and collectively learn from our experiences with our data analytics and machine learning initiative. And fortunately, that time is today, here at Vertica Unify 2022. After all, it's always about the great people behind our success, and those people are our customers and our partners. So we are looking forward to getting together and sharing innovations and learning how we can improve and earn our business and trust every day. But Unify also has even greater meaning when it comes to our analytical database. We have seen an increasing need for unified analytics without compromise. Our customers want data-driven insights, but they don't want to move the data, particularly Parquet or ORC data formats. They want to build the most robust and accurate machine learning models without any downsampling of data, which could lead to an inaccurate result. They want predictive analytics without unpredictable pricing. They want concurrency without any performance disruptions. They want database that can run on commodity-based hardware to keep their TCO low. They want ultimate deployment flexibility to run their analytics anywhere without getting locked into an appliance model or into any one cloud. And they want true cloud elasticity and extreme scale without massive billing. Vertica delivers unified analytics all in one single analytical database platform that gives you the conversion of the data warehouse and data lake, giving you a best of both worlds approach. Massively parallel processing with a variety of storage options. The full power of machine learning, all accessible via SQL. The ability to build the most robust machine learning models that you can operationalize in production so that the entire organization can benefit from predictive analytics. Support for multiple clouds, on-premise, containers, the edge, and you name it. More than 650 built-in database analytical functions and an extendable framework to write your own in your own language of choice. And finally, unified analytics that addresses all of your use cases and emerging tech trends like data democratization and the modernization of your data warehouses and data pipelines. I would like to share a customer success story to show you how Vertica Unified Analytics has helped data-driven organizations derive more value from their growing data volumes wherever those volumes exist. Nostra Data was founded to improve access to information across the pharmacy supply chain and is connected to more than 4,600 pharmacies and over 7,500 database sources across Australia. Nostra Data Services help pharmacies identify opportunities in their dispensary and retail through reporting and analytics, as well as support rebate payment from their supplier and their patient adherence programs. Nostra Data looked at data appliances but found them to be too expensive to implement and difficult to scale. They also looked at Snowflake but needed advanced analytical capabilities like time series analysis with conditional events and windowing functions and the freedom to control partitions and add their own user-defined functions. When the team came across the Vertica Analytics platform, they liked what they saw. It had all the advanced analytics they required, plus machine learning. In a benchmark test between Vertica and SQL Server, a Vertica solution looks very promising. This is a quote from the co-founder and director, Mike DeGarman, said, "We loaded the same amount of data in SQL Server and Vertica, running the same queries against them. Vertica processed the data 70% faster. And while it was processing, we could query the data at the same time, all leading to a much faster response time for our customers." Vertica data compression impressed us too. We have historic data that we need to keep for compliance reasons, and the cloud storage for this was expensive. With Vertica's 77% data compression, we were able to save 93% on data storage. We have a full day agenda for you that we feel that you will really enjoy. Our breakout sessions run soon after this general session will be led by our engineering team, our best practices team of customer success engineers, and our customers. Note that we have localized our content also in English, Korean, simplified Chinese, and Japanese. So we encourage you to choose the language best suited for you. And once again, thank you very much to our platinum sponsor, Vast Data, and to all of you for joining us for Vertica Unify 2022. We hope you enjoy the event. Now I'd like to pass this time over to Scott Richards, our Vice President and General Manager of the Vertica business. Over to you, Scott.
Hi, I'm Scott Richards, General Manager of Vertica. Thank you very much for being with us here today at Unify 2022 APJ. We're really thankful that you spent some time with us today. I've been the General Manager of Vertica for about 6 months now. So just to give you a little bit of history, I was managing a different business unit within Micro Focus, and Stephen Murdoch, the CEO of Micro Focus, came and asked me if I would shift over and manage the Vertica business unit. And when he asked me to do that, I was really excited for the opportunity. Vertica is one of the growth engines within Micro Focus, and I was excited to make a change and take part of this amazing business unit. Now, I started to get involved with some of the customers, and after that, I got even more excited about being part of Vertica. The customers are passionate, they love the technology, and it became obvious to me that this was going to be a really exciting opportunity. And then I started to get to know the team at Vertica, and that really put me over the top. I became even more excited to be a part of this great organization. You know, it's rare to find a group of people that are so passionate about the customer and the customer's success. And I want you to know that you have a group of people here at Vertica that spend every day thinking about how they can make you more successful. And I'm really excited to be part of that team. You know, the other thing that makes me really excited about this is being a part of this amazing industry. You know, as Vertica employees, partners, and customers, we are in the largest technology sector in the entire industry. Organizations are making massive investments in databases. And according to Gartner, the DBMS market has reached over $80 billion in 2021. And this is increasing year over year. In fact, just last year, it increased by over $14.5 billion. And the expectation is that this is going to double in the next 5 years. So it's exciting to be in such a dynamic environment, dynamic industry. But what's interesting about this is that despite all of this investment, almost no one is taking advantage of their huge investment in databases and in data. In fact, according to research, only about 30% of companies are actually taking advantage of this data and making decisions based on this data-driven approach. So the question that you have to ask is, why aren't companies deriving values from this huge investment? Now, given that you're here at Vertica Unify with us, you're already using Vertica, hopefully, and so you're ahead of the game. You're already getting more out of your data than your counterparts at other non-Vertica organizations. But what we want to show you today is how you can get even more value through data-driven approaches to your decision-making process. And so that's what this conference is all about. We want to show you how to get more value out of your data. Now, Vertica customers already derive real measurable value from their huge data volumes. In a recent study published by Forrester, they concluded that Vertica customers have a 385% return on investment with their Vertica purchases. And what we want to show you today is how to make those numbers even bigger. So as you talk with partners and customers and Vertica employees today, you're going to see that everyone within Vertica is customer driven. You're going to feel that in our presentation, and you're going to feel that in our conversations. You know, we recently had our customer advisory board in Boston, and it was really fun for us to get our customer advisory board together face to face. And I started that customer advisory board meeting by telling the CAB that we wanted honest feedback from them on what we can do better. You know, it's always great to hear what you're doing really well, but what really helps us improve is when our customers tell us where we need to improve. And we got a lot of great feedback from that customer advisory board. And we know there's lots of areas where we can improve. You know, we need to make more progress in our upgrade process and make it easier and more reliable for you as our customers. And we're dedicated to making sure that our deployment models are flexible. And we want to make sure that we improve all of the ways that we both deliver and support our product. So as part of that, we are making more investments in Vertica than ever before. We have built a new global center of excellence for user experience, where we've gathered experts from around the globe whose focus is on making sure that Vertica is easy to use and making sure that it's easy for you to get this value out of your data. We have a new office of the CTO, where we have Rohit Amarnath, whose focus is exclusively on what do we need to build in 6 months, 12 months, 24 months to make sure that we're not only solving your current problems, but we're focused on your future. And we've brought in other experts to supplement that office of the CTO to make sure that we have the best experts from around the world working on your future. We've increased our security. We have a new chief security officer whose focus is on ISO 27001 and beyond, and making sure that we don't sacrifice any security as we build our performance and build our scale. We're hiring across the entire organization. So in R&D and support and customer success, we're building bigger teams with more expertise to help you achieve your goals. So we're excited for this opportunity and excited to talk to you as customers and understand what you need from us, where you need us to improve. As I have talked to customers over the past 6 months, it's been clear that our customers love Vertica. They love the technology. We have technology that is second to none. We have massive scale, and we perform better than any of our competitors. And it always makes me proud to see quotes like you're seeing here, where our customers are talking about how much they love our product, how it's easy to manage, and how it's an amazing product, and how it's the best platform they have. But we know we have room where we can improve. The other thing that's been interesting as I've talked to customers and partners and analysts is that, they ask me what our number one value proposition is here at Vertica. And of course, we have several value propositions. We're blazingly fast, and we perform at a massive scale that's second to none. But I think what often gets overlooked is that we provide our customers with the broadest choice that ensures that they don't get locked into one deployment model or one consumption model or one way to pay. We can grow with you regardless of the direction of your journey. So you can choose the licensing metric that is best for you. If you want to pay via terabyte or you want to pay by node. The consumption model is up to you. It can be usage-based or it can be subscription-based. In fact, most of our customers overwhelmingly now are choosing to go with a subscription-based model, and that's just fine with us. You can choose your deployment model, whether it's private cloud, public cloud, or some kind of a hybrid model. We can work in all of those scenarios. And the level of service is up to you. If you want to be self-managed or if you want to be part of a SaaS deployment, all of those are options. And this is all part of one unique consumption model, one offering that we have here at Vertica. So we've just recently announced the Vertica 12, our new offering, and you're going to hear from Steven and David, who run our engineering and our product management group, and you're going to hear all of the details about that release. But just to give you a little bit of a teaser, Vertica 12 delivers future-proof analytics with more support for object stores like vast data, more analytics, machine learning capabilities, more integration and support for ecosystems of tools, data formats, and open source technology. It's an amazing new release for us, and we're excited to tell you more about it later in the day. Also today, you're going to hear from Rohit Amarnath, who is our CTO, and he's going to share with you the Vertica vision. And I don't want to steal Rohit's thunder, but I do want to just tease you a little bit with what's coming in this vision, because I'm really excited about it. The Vertica vision is all about making it easier for you to, first of all, load data into the Vertica system, then to manage that data within Vertica, and then, most importantly, to get data insight out of that data within the system. And Ro's going to talk about the vision we have to make all of that happen for you. And of course, we encourage you to meet and hear from all of our customers. That's what Vertica Unify is all about. You don't want to miss some of the amazing customer stories that you're going to hear today, and hopefully you can hear more about how they're doing business with Vertica, how they're getting value out of Vertica, and take that into what you do with Vertica in your organizations. With that, I want to just once again thank you for being part of Vertica Unify. Looking forward to interacting with you more during this great event. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much, Scott, for your sharing. Now, I would like to pass this time over to Stephen, our Director of R&D, and Dave, Director of Product Management, to share with you more about Vertica version 12. Over to you, Stephen and Dave.
Hi, I'm Dave Sprogis, Head of Product for Vertica, and I'm here with Stephen Walkauskas, Head of R&D, and we're here to tell you about Vertica 12. But before we get started, Vertica 12 is not quite out the door, so I'm compelled to share this slide that we're sharing this information for mutual planning purposes, and it should not be taken as a commitment to deliver. Vertica's success is due in large part to the relationships that we form with our customers, the Vertica community. You help us develop, extend, and refine Vertica's features and capabilities. Every conversation we have with you, every support ticket you file, and even your most challenging use cases help us make Vertica a better product. Community also drives our open source functionality when feasible. Our open source provides an opportunity for each of you to leverage and possibly customize areas of the product. We're grateful for your support, and on behalf of everyone at the company, I thank you for your confidence in Vertica and our continued collaboration. Confidence, future-proofing. That was the theme for Vertica 12. And from left to right, we continue to drive broad deployment options for analytics anywhere, including advanced analytics and machine learning on a platform of performance and stability. We offered new deployment options, including Accelerator and Kubernetes. We've added to our machine learning and advanced analytics story, and we've made performance and resiliency improvements, which are always welcome with big data. Stephen Walkauskas, head of R&D, will take us through the details of Vertica 12. Stephen?
All right, thank you, David. When you think of Vertica, you think of performance and scale. And of course, efficiency and total cost of ownership are a big part of the equation. Throwing more hardware at the problem isn't always the best solution. You need to tune your algorithms and optimize your execution. Your database must use resources efficiently because one thing is certain, and you know this better than I do, data is valuable. And if you build a useful data warehouse, not only is the data going to grow, but the number of users is going to grow as well. Here's a comparison between Snowflake and Vertica, performed by a third-party contractor, McKnight Consulting Group. You can see a notable performance difference with just a single user. Of course, there's never just a single query running in a data warehouse, not if the data is useful. A single dashboard that you load to analyze often runs half a dozen or more queries concurrently. And look at the performance difference between Vertica and Snowflake when you're running just 10 or 20 users. At what point does it become ridiculous to throw more hardware at the problem? That's an example that was based off of the Berkeley AmpLab Big Data Benchmark. Let's look at a realistic customer use case. So let's look at a real-world use case. Here's another example, one that was done by a job engine search company, a bake-off between Vertica and Snowflake. Performance tests were run with a decent number of concurrent queries, 200 in the case of the results that are quoted on this slide. You can see that Vertica crushed it. Vertica significantly exceeded or was close on all of the success criteria. Meanwhile, Snowflake didn't achieve a single one, didn't even come close on any success criteria defined by this company. And the real kicker, Vertica accomplished this running on 1/4 of the hardware. That's right, Vertica ran on just 6 nodes, while Snowflake ran on 24. Talk about total cost of ownership. Now, it's not just the product that makes a difference. That's certainly a big part of it. In addition to a great product, you need smart, capable engineers. In this case, both products, Snowflake and Vertica, were optimized by engineers from their respective companies. But Vertica provides a lot more features that can be used to optimize performance. The talented Vertica engineer who worked on this POC applied features like flattened tables, live aggregate projections, and much more. Speaking of optimizations, here's one that I think everyone should know about. So I'll cover it in a bit of detail here. A few releases ago, we delivered partition range projections. The chart above shows the storage necessary to retain data going back many months. If you're taking on data at 2 terabytes compressed per day, over a 24-month period, that's about 1.5 petabytes of data. It might not be feasible to make several copies of that data, so you design a projection that's optimized for a small set of your queries. But that's the beauty of partition range projections. If your table is partitioned on date, and most fact tables are, and your most recent data is your most valuable data, the most frequently queried data in your database, then you can design several projections optimized for a variety of queries and store only the most recent data in those projections. As long as the query predicates narrow the data to a slice that fits within that partition range, then the optimizer can select that projection as one to use in its optimized plan. So you can optimize for a variety of queries with a significantly smaller storage footprint. I want to mention this feature because of what it offers now and where it's headed. With version 12 of Vertica, secondary subclusters remain up in read-only mode after the primary subcluster is brought down. Changes cannot be made to the catalog of the data or loaded or modified in any way. However, queries continue to run just fine and without performance impact thanks to workload isolation. Not only do the secondary subclusters stay up in read-only mode when the primary is down, we've gone a step further. The primary nodes can be brought back up with a newer version of Vertica. Subclusters of a different version can coexist in one database and exchange control messages, but not exchange catalog changes. Therefore, changes to the read-write primary subcluster are not observed in the read-only secondary subclusters. Now, I think you can see where this is going. This functionality enables upgrade with no disruption to the read-only portion of your workload. I know everyone wants to have completely non-disruptive upgrades so that reads and writes can continue without disruption, but we're getting closer and closer to that goal. But why worry about upgrades at all? Put your database into Accelerator, Vertica's database as a service offering, where upgrades and other database operations become the responsibility of Vertica Accelerator's site reliability engineers. And remember those performance comparisons earlier in the presentation? Vertica is an extremely powerful tool that does well out of the box, but it performs phenomenally well with an expert at the helm. That's why we hired DBAs with more than a decade of experience operating Vertica databases in production. Trust your database to the Vertica Accelerator team. Let them take care of the database operations and general resource and performance tuning so that you can focus on writing applications that use the database and getting the value out of your data. Flexibility truly sets Vertica apart from the competition. There isn't another analytics database out there that can be deployed in as many ways as Vertica. You pick the deployment mode that suits you. Your choice may depend on budget, your degree of customization, or a combination of the two. No matter which deployment mode you're using, you'll see improvements when you upgrade to Vertica 12. In addition to cross-cutting improvements, which impact every deployment mode, we've added ones that impact on-premise. We've added support for H3C OneStore and for vast data. We've also made significant improvements to Kubernetes, which helps with the hybrid deployment model. We've added support for monitoring with integration of Prometheus and Grafana, and we've also added support in Kubernetes for the upgrade logic that I just talked about. And of course, in addition to notable improvements to Eon, we've also improved the customer experience in Vertica Accelerator, our database as a service offering. In addition to those improvements, we're also making it easier and more secure to build apps on top of Vertica. We've delivered production-ready features in several open source projects. We've recently completed work for both a Spark connector to Vertica in the open source and a Node.js client in the open source as well. We've also improved security with client driver support for OAuth 2 authentication, and Accelerator is ISO 27001 certified. We've improved multi-tenancy with the addition of storage quotas and workload isolation improvements, including a feature to drain sessions from a subcluster before scaling down. And of course, we've made notable improvements in the area of machine learning, including charting improvements in Vertica Pi, and we've also in machine learning added an additional algorithm for anomaly detection, isolation forest. Finally, there are significant improvements in the area of complex types, including the ability to infer a table definition from a JSON file and the ability to store complex data types in ROS. I've only covered a small amount of what's new in Vertica 12. We don't have enough time to do justice to everything in that release. So I encourage you to check out vertica.com and the 12.0 press release for more information about what's available when you upgrade to Vertica 12. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Stephen and Dave. I would like to introduce our next speaker, John Mao, who is the Global Head of Business Development for our Platinum sponsor, Vast Data. He will share with us on how unified analytics meet with unified storage to address all of your disparate data needs. Over to you, John.
Hi, my name is John Mao, and I'm the Global Head of Business Development and Alliances at Vast Data. And we're excited to be a Platinum sponsor at this year's Vertica Unify conference. In today's era of modern analytics, we see a growing convergence of data lakes and data warehouses as organizations rethink their data and analytics strategy. So I'd like to take a few minutes to share with you how Vertica and Vast Data are helping customers unify analytics and storage to provide a simpler analytics stack moving forward. Vast Data is a 6-year-old company that's built a new type of all-flash, scale-out NAS, file and object storage system. We've been fortunate to have seen tremendous traction across a wide range of customers over the last 3 years since our initial product launched. Our growth, by some analysts' tally, has positioned us as the fastest growing infrastructure company in history. The reason for that growth is because we've solved a decades-old problem within the storage industry. We've eliminated the trade-offs between performance, scalability, and cost found within typical tiers of storage technologies in the data center. We built a new type of all-flash storage system that's faster than your fastest storage system today, capable of handling the most demanding analytics workloads, scalable enough to hold all of your data, and most importantly, affordable enough to put all of your data on flash SSDs for the very, very first time. Often customers tell us that Vast storage system is even lower cost than some hard drive-based archive tiers of storage. So why are we here at Vertica Unify? Well, as an alliances team, we're focused on helping shape many of our solution-oriented use cases, such as big data analytics. And in talking to customers, we're increasingly hearing that the needs around analytics within organizations are rapidly changing. Organizations are now demanding faster, more rapid access to data for more real-time queries so that business can take action and make decisions faster than the competition. Organizations are also building new data science teams to explore data more interactively and with new advanced techniques and machine learning algorithms to reveal new insights. And lastly, most CIOs have an agenda to help democratize data across their organization to enable more users to make better and more informed data-driven decisions. But there are a few areas of concerns and challenges that are often stalling organizations' progress in their analytics agenda. Number one, legacy systems used over the last decade, they lack both the performance and concurrency needed to meet the new requirements. The second challenge is that many organizations face a data and information silo problem, where information's been locked away in multiple tiers of infrastructure and multiple tiers of logical data silos as well. Having discrete silos makes it extremely difficult to leverage new advanced analytics techniques because you can't easily access the totality of the data. And last, cost, both from an acquisition perspective and an ongoing operational perspective, is always a top concern for any organization, especially as the volume and amount of data is growing exponentially these days. Now, for many organizations, their analytics infrastructure has likely evolved over the years. You, in fact, may have one or more or all of these types of storage systems in your organization today, whether it's Hadoop with HDFS, or object storage systems, both in the public cloud or on-prem, or even legacy enterprise NAS storage systems. The problem with all of these storage technologies is that they force you to deal with trade-offs between performance, scalability, and cost. We believe there should be a better way. So we built Universal Storage, a single universal platform for all your data that provides extremely high performance for any size and scale of analytics queries, architected to scale to exabytes, with customers today deploying hundreds of petabytes in a single cluster. It's also multi-protocol with support for NFS, SMB, and an S3-compatible API, which is really great for supporting a wide range of analytics tools and applications across your entire data pipeline. We also have support for accelerated compute platforms such as NVIDIA GPUs, which will become increasingly interesting in the world of analytics in the near future. And lastly, but most importantly, a storage platform that rivals the economics of archive storage systems. Now, what makes all of this possible and what makes VAST uniquely differentiated in the market is our disaggregated architecture. Our cluster architecture enables a few unique benefits that are critical for analytics, such as handling wide amounts of parallelism and concurrency for both reads and writes, or for queries and ingest. The system also supports composability, which is great for isolating workloads and providing guaranteed QoS. I'll share a specific example in just a minute. And lastly, our architecture allows VAST to drive several key innovations at the physical hardware level to help make all-flash storage affordable for any scale big data project. Now let's talk about how Vertica and VAST are helping organizations today. Last month, VAST announced support for Vertica Eon Mode. By using our S3-compatible object interface, Eon Mode allows Vertica to separate or disaggregate the storage from the Vertica compute nodes themselves. Now, one of the main advantages of that is that together, we're able to unify data lake and data warehouse use cases. With Vertica as a single unified analytics platform and VAST as a single unified shared storage system, we support Vertica optimized file formats with extremely fast data access for data warehouses. But at the same time, we can be used as a data lake where other parts of the pipeline may be storing Parquet, ORC, JSON, or other file types that Vertica can then query in place using external table support. From a data pipeline perspective, a single unified analytics stack also means that data can remain easily accessible within a single place. From data ingest through the ETL process to data warehousing to integration for reporting and BI tools, VAST and Vertica can help radically simplify and consolidate your analytics stack. One of the other benefits of Vertica Eon Mode is that organizations can now scale compute and storage completely independently. You can scale in and out your Vertica compute nodes based on different and varying demands throughout the day. Similarly, you can add more storage capacity if all you need is more capacity as your data retention or volume grows. The other thing that VAST uniquely can offer Vertica users is workload isolation. Supporting things like Vertica subclustering, VAST has multiple features that can logically separate the same shared backend storage, thereby providing guaranteed performance. So imagine segmenting a Vertica cluster or multiple Vertica clusters for ingest, or perhaps by department, or maybe a read-only cluster used for high concurrency reads for BI and reporting purposes. With VAST, you can ensure that none of those users and applications compete for storage resources with one another. We're starting to see the convergence of data lakes and data warehouses in the market. We recently published a case study with Agoda, a Booking.com company who has tremendous volumes of data across all of their numerous travel websites. The customer has numerous tools in their analytics stack, including Vertica, but also Apache Spark and others. They selected VAST as the unified storage system to share centrally across their entire analytics environment. Just like for storage, VAST is focused on making modern analytics simple for organizations. With universal storage, we want to help you provide faster data access to enable more real-time results, to help you eliminate and consolidate information silos that are extremely difficult to maintain over time, all while helping ensure you have the most affordable infrastructure ready for your petabyte-scale data projects. If you want to learn more about VAST Data, please visit vastdata.com. And I thank you for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful Vertica Unify conference.
Thank you very much, John, for your insightful sharing. Finally, we have Rohit Amarnath, our Vertica CTO, who will give you a glimpse of our vision. Over to you, Ro.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rohit Amarnath, CTO for Vertica, and I'm here to talk a little bit about Vertica's vision going forward. As Scott mentioned, we really want to make it easier to work with Vertica. We want Vertica to be a better citizen of the tech stack and our pipeline. And as a database and warehouse, we tend to be part of a larger ecosystem, and it's critical that we play well in the sandbox. And to specifically reiterate the goals, we want to make it easier to manage Vertica, make it easier to get data into Vertica, and get insights data and data out. And these goals have us focus on the developer and user experience. So we're incubating a few initiatives with engineering. The first initiative is already underway, is the management SDK. This has been directly influenced by my experience of deploying and managing Vertica in a larger managed service context and building Accelerator, the as a service. So far, the main way to develop around Vertica is to embed admin tools and other Vertica command line tools inside code. This isn't a great developer experience and requires parsing return codes and standard output. By implementing a real SDK, will make a huge difference in how we can build applications and manage Vertica in a DevOps environment or embed in a larger stack. The other goal around the SDK is this concept that everything is user experience, including the CLI. So the accelerator, the management console, the CLI, the API, everything should be consistent across all of those layers and around the SDK. So this eventually means that command line tools like admin tools will actually just be a thin layer or client over the underlying SDK and API. The next initiative that Chuck and I have been working together on is simplifying ingest and data pipelines. And essentially that what we're considering are common scenarios that customers encounter and follow similar patterns to implement. It typically doesn't take a lot of time to build these things, but if we can take a half a day's worth of work down to 15 minutes or 5 minutes, it could save a significant amount of effort for a lot of our customers. And these are common patterns that we see, things like loading files from S3, handling file events, getting data from an SNS topic, et cetera, et cetera. So if we can make those sort of ingest pipelines easier, I think it'll simplify a number of pieces of effort that our customers have to work on. The last initiative is pretty blue sky at the moment, with the goal of making it easier to get insights out of the warehouse. The idea is to create a web-based integrated development environment that's very specialized for analytics, so an IAE instead of an IDE. For example, this can include a shared workspace-based SQL editor. It can mean low-code or no-code user experiences, an interface to manage machine learning operations. And I envision this being a plugin-based environment allowing customers and partners to extend the UX. If this initiative comes to be, it'll also include the convergence of the accelerator and management console functionality. As you can probably summarize, the critical foundation to building both the ingest and the web-based environment is dependent on bringing our SDK together and making that rock solid. We also have some explorations that I've not put on slides, but would like to highlight. These include a REST client from the client team, using WebAssembly for unfenced UDXs at native speeds in languages, any language that WebAssembly supports. So it could be Rust, it could be C++, it could be Ruby. And then using DNS for service discovery and routing. It's our specialized pieces of routing code. So Vertica loves open source. Stay tuned for details on Vertica's commitment to the open source community. We really want to build this out and foster more efforts on the open source side and build back up our vibrant open source community.
Thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to attend our Vertica Unify 2022. We really appreciate your presence with us today. I trust that you have learned some insights of our Vertica Unified Analytics Platform and heard how our customers have derived their benefits from using Vertica. I look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great day. Thank you very much.